Welcome to Monday. It's the 18th day of April 2022. Your Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Cowboy State Daily, Wyoming's news authority. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com or on their Facebook page. Well, warmer weather's coming this week. We've got a front midweek and a storm by the weekend. I'd call that a pretty typical April forecast. One thing everyone's going to notice is it's not going to be nearly as cold this week. Boy, last week was cold, very cold across the region for April, but temperatures this week are going to feel more like spring. There's going to be ups and downs, though. Temperatures will be up today and tomorrow, down on Wednesday as a front will bring more mountain snow and some showers to the plains Tuesday night into Wednesday. Then temperatures bounce back like a rubber band. They spring back up and get quite mild again Thursday and Friday. However, by the weekend, we see rain, snow, and thunder. In fact, as early as Thursday night, but especially Friday through Sunday, areas of rain and snow will return to the northern plains, the central and northern Rockies. We still, like the last storm, have questions on its track and intensity. And unfortunately, there's going to be winners and losers. I wish I could tell you we've got one storm that's going to get everybody what they want with water. Not going to happen. But there's going to be areas that pick up some pretty good moisture out of this next storm system this weekend. But unfortunately, I think there's other areas that are going to miss out, such as the nature of the beast with these spring storms. But we do have more precipitation coming for some of you. Today's satellite photo shows a pretty impressive swirl of clouds up here off of Vancouver Island with a frontal system and a low coming into the Pacific Northwest. But it's hitting this high pressure ridge that's building over right now. So what will happen is it's going to weaken. The system is not going to maintain its integrity as it goes into the Pacific Northwest and through the northern and central Rockies. Now there's going to be good rain and snow again for Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and central and northern California, as those systems have been really productive here lately to get those areas wet. But as it goes into the Rockies, it'll get weakened, but it will produce some moisture. As you can see, it's a pretty quiet day when it comes to severe weather. The only strong thunderstorms, and these are not too strong, will be in the far southeastern United States and maybe a few thunderstorms along the coast with that Pacific wave. But a fairly quiet Monday, coast to coast, really no significant weather. But that'll change as we go forward. Today, we can see this high pressure ridge building over the Rockies with a nice area of low pressure here that we just showed you on the satellite imagery. So warmer air gets pumped in, and temperatures today and Tuesday will be warming into the 50s, 60s, and well into the 70s in many areas. But as you go past that time frame, things will change. Here are the forecasted high temperatures relative to average today. And you can see a nice little patch of warmer air here coming in. Look at this. That is snow cover over North Dakota and eastern Montana, keeping those temperatures very cold relative to averages. And that's going to continue to be the case until that snow melts, as they got more over the weekend. Now, as we get into tomorrow night and Wednesday, this is for midnight Tuesday. So tomorrow night, we've got a front and a low up here dragging the front through. And what this will do is cool off temperatures Wednesday, bring the high country some snow. And boy, I tell you, we'll show you some maps here. The high country over the last 7 days has done very well in terms of being able to regain some ground in some of those snowpack numbers. These are the precipitation forecast totals through Thursday. So you can see the Pacific Northwest, the interior parts of the Pacific Northwest, and parts of central and northern California are going to do really well again. You can see some snow again in the mountains of northern Colorado, southern Wyoming, the Bighorns, the western valleys of Wyoming, the western mountains of Wyoming, and eastern Idaho, back into the Bitterroot here. Going to get into some good moisture back here where they need it, but continue dry in this area here along and just north and south of Interstate 70. This area continues to be a real headache in terms of trying to get it wet. So this is the first front. Then there's going to be a nice warm-up Thursday into Friday as southwest winds develop ahead of this next trough coming in. This next trough coming into the west coast at first is going to bring a big warm-up. I see 60s, 70s, and I even see some 80s in parts of the high plains as we get into Thursday and Friday before this next low comes on in. Now, what happens to the trough after it comes on shore is still a little bit up for debate, but we are leaning towards the fact that it's likely going to take a northerly track. These are those temperatures we just showed you, that warm southwest wind flow going to bring some very warm air into the front range of the Rockies, still unseasonably cold up here because of that snow cover. but there should be some melting with this warmer air pushing up ahead of it. However, that's temporary. And this is why, because we have that trough swinging through, and what we think is going to happen is there's going to be a pretty good Pacific front, just basically a cold front coming through the Rockies late Friday into Saturday. Ahead of this wave, there's going to be showers and thunderstorms, a big slug of moisture for the mountains to bring more heavy mountain spring snows, and then as it reaches the plains, this is going to look extremely similar. This is by Friday evening and Friday night. So ahead of this, as early as Thursday, there'll be some showers and thunderstorms. We expect quite a bit of thunderstorm activity as we get on into Thursday and Friday ahead of this trough. This is the forecast of lightning strikes. Now that could bring some needed rain to this part of the country here. Few lightning strikes showing up as being forecasted along the Front Range as early as Thursday afternoon, then back here in the Pacific Northwest. But look what happens by Friday afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms develop across Kansas, parts of Nebraska, parts of South Dakota, eastern Wyoming, back into Colorado. Now we're hoping these will be rain-producing thunderstorms in those areas. However, this could be a tricky situation as the thunderstorms may develop here, they may develop here, or where they're showing it right now. As we get into Saturday, look at this. This looks extremely familiar, doesn't it? This is just what happened to North Dakota last week. Right now, if this ends up being correct, North Dakota will have the third snow event in 2 weeks. This is going to get eastern Montana, parts of South Dakota, eastern Montana, far northeastern Wyoming. They're going to get into the action with significant rain and snow chances again. But like the last storm, it could go a little more north, it could go a little more south. We've got several days here to figure out the exact track. But this is going to be another weather maker up here, and so livestock interest in North Dakota, hate to say it, but you've got to probably go through another winter storm. Same for the plains of eastern Montana, parts of South Dakota, and maybe extreme northern areas of Wyoming as well. This system does get stretched out by next Sunday. We don't expect it to be maybe as intense as the last one. I don't think we're going to have 2 in a row that are going to be that intense, but this is still a pretty good system. See this trailing area of low pressure back here? We're hoping, we're really keeping our fingers crossed, that this low will produce showers over Colorado into western Nebraska and Kansas on the back side of the storm as we get to the back side of the weekend. So we've got some opportunities for moisture coming, and look at this. Now take this with a grain of salt because I do expect this map is going to change. I think it's going to shift around a little bit, but look at these rain and snow totals potentially in this area right here with this next storm this weekend. Also, look at these really good snows in the mountains of Colorado, back in the mountains of Utah, and back in the Pacific Northwest again. This is the area, though, that desperately needs some precipitation. Very dry area here in winter wheat country. They need the rain, and let's hope that fills in. But right now, this is going to be another storm system that is targeting this area. So stock growers and travelers, keep an eye on it, and we'll update you throughout the week on its expected trek because I do expect these maps to shift and change around a little bit. But look at those snow totals. Again, for display purposes only. As we get closer, we'll have a better confidence level of where this heavier moisture is going to be. A quick snowpack update. Now, I want to let you know that these numbers I'm showing you do not include the snow that fell Sunday. A lot of snow fell Sunday in the mountains of southern Wyoming and northern Colorado. But see how much more green there is on the map now? The upper North Platte in Wyoming has now gone over 90% of average. Little Snake, 91. Laramie, 101. And in Colorado, the upper North Platte has gone to 95% of average.